First contact and diplomatic uncertainty. The sleek diplomatic vessel, Horizon's Promise, glided through the star-speckled void, its advanced quantum drive humming with a soft, almost imperceptible vibration. Ambassador Raj Khanna stood near the forward viewport, his dark eyes reflecting the distant starlight, contemplating the momentous mission ahead. Humanity's first formal diplomatic engagement with the Zoran civilization was about to unfold. Years of careful translation of intercepted communications, decoding complex linguistic patterns, and understanding their intricate cultural nuances had led to this precise moment. Approaching Zoran Primary System, Ambassador, Lieutenant Priya Verma announced from the navigation console. Her fingers danced across holographic displays, making minute adjustments to their approach trajectory. Raj turned, surveying his carefully selected team. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, their xenolinguistic expert, was reviewing last-minute translation protocols. Commander Elena Rodriguez, no relation to Marcus, stood at tactical readiness, her posture reflecting years of military training tempered by diplomatic protocol. Status report, Raj commanded, his voice calm and measured. All systems optimal, Priya responded. Quantum shielding at maximum, communication arrays synchronized with previously decoded Zoran frequency bands. We're broadcasting standard greeting protocols. The Zoran homeworld materialized on the main view screen, a planet of deep crimson landscapes interrupted by massive crystalline mountain ranges that seemed to pulse with an inner luminescence. Atmospheric readings showed a complex mix of gases that would be toxic to humans, but the ship's advanced environmental systems guaranteed their safety. Marcus leaned forward, his linguistic algorithms processing the incoming communication signals. Initial communication patterns suggest a mix of excitement and caution, he muttered, adjusting his neural interface. Raj nodded. The Zoran were known for their complex social hierarchies and a communication style that was more about what remained unsaid than what was explicitly stated. Every gesture, every pause carried multiple layers of meaning. As they entered the system's outer orbital zone, a massive Zoran diplomatic vessel emerged from what seemed like nowhere. Its design was radically different from human spacecraft, organic-looking, with flowing lines that seemed to shift and change even as they watched. Incoming transmission, Elena announced, her hand hovering near defensive systems, not out of aggression, but pure professional preparedness. The communication crackled to life, and a holographic representation of a Zoran diplomat materialized on the bridge. Tall, with iridescent skin that seemed to change color subtly with each movement, the being radiated an aura of controlled intensity. "Greetings, representatives of Earth," the Zoran diplomat spoke, their language simultaneously translated by Marcus's advanced algorithms. "I am Diplomat Krelvax of the 7th Harmonious Cluster. We acknowledge your approach and request clarification of intent." Raj stepped forward, his movements deliberate and measured. "Greetings, Diplomat Krelvax. I am Ambassador Raj Khanna from the United Earth Diplomatic Corps. We come in a spirit of mutual understanding and potential cooperation." The Zoran skin rippled, a reaction that Marcus's translation matrix suggested was somewhere between curiosity and mild skepticism. "Cooperation," Krelvax repeated, the word seeming to carry multiple underlying tones. "An interesting concept. Your species has been observing us for some time." It wasn't a question. The Zoran knew humanity had been studying them, analyzing their communications, trying to understand their complex societal structures long before this direct contact. Raj maintained eye contact. "Observation is the first step toward understanding. We seek to establish peaceful dialogue, to explore potential mutual benefits." Little did they know that beneath the veneer of diplomatic politeness, complex machinations were already in motion. The Zoran had their own agenda, and humanity's arrival was but one piece in an intricate galactic chess game. As the diplomatic vessel began its approach toward the Zoran orbital station, tension hummed through the air, a delicate balance between hope, curiosity, and an unspoken undercurrent of potential conflict. The first meeting between humans and Zoran was about to begin, and the universe watched with bated breath. Shadows of deception. The orbital diplomatic station gleamed like a massive crystalline sculpture against the backdrop of the crimson Zoran homeworld. Ambassador Raj Khanna and his team were escorted through a series of increasingly complex security checkpoints, each designed to subtly test and analyze human behavior. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez noted the intricate patterns of the Zoran security protocols. "These aren't just standard security measures," he whispered to Commander Elena Rodriguez. "Each checkpoint is collecting psychological and physiological data about us." Elena's hand unconsciously brushed against her communication implant, a nearly invisible device that could transmit encrypted emergency signals if needed. Her years of diplomatic security training had taught her to read between the lines of seemingly peaceful encounters. The negotiation chamber was a marvel of alien architecture. Walls that seemed to breathe and shift, creating an environment that was simultaneously disorienting and mesmerizing. Holographic displays flickered with complex data streams that changed colors and patterns with each subtle movement in the room. Diplomat Krelvax settled into a chair-like structure that seemed to form itself around their body. "Ambassador Khanna," they began, "humanity's approach intrigues us. You speak of cooperation, but your species has a complex history of resource acquisition." Raj maintained his composure. "We seek mutual understanding, not conquest. The resources we're interested in are those that can benefit both our civilizations." Behind the diplomatic veneer, a complex game was unfolding. Intelligence reports back on Earth had been clear: the Zoran controlled a strategic corridor of space rich in rare quantum-reactive minerals critical for advanced propulsion technologies. Marcus's translation matrix picked up subtle undertones in Krelvax's communication, hints of defensiveness, carefully masked territorial instincts. "Your interest in our mineral deposits is noted," the Zoran diplomat said, their iridescent skin shifting to a deep blue that Marcus's research suggested indicated calculated reservation. Unbeknownst to the diplomatic team, deep within the Zoran orbital complex, a different conversation was taking place. Military strategists reviewed extensive surveillance data collected during the human delegation's approach. "Their technological capabilities are more advanced than our initial assessments," a high-ranking Zoran military commander observed, studying holographic representations of the human ship's capabilities. "The quantum shielding is particularly concerning." Another official, whose skin flickered with rapid color changes indicating agitation, responded, "They cannot be allowed to establish a permanent presence in this sector. The mineral corridors are too strategically important." Back in the negotiation chamber, the conversation continued its delicate dance. Raj presented a series of potential collaborative projects: joint scientific research, technology exchange programs, mutual defense considerations. Krelvax listened, their responses carefully measured. Each diplomatic overture was met with complex, multi-layered responses that seemed to agree while simultaneously creating subtle barriers. Commander Elena Rodriguez, monitoring the discussions, noticed something peculiar. Microfluctuations in the station's energy grid suggested hidden activity, additional systems operating beneath the diplomatic facade. "Marcus," she sub-vocalized through her communication implant, "are you seeing these energy signatures?" The linguistic expert's eyes narrowed. "Something doesn't add up. These readings suggest massive infrastructure beyond what their diplomatic presentation implies." As the negotiations continued, neither side revealed their full hand. The humans maintained their approach of cautious openness, while the Zoran carefully constructed a narrative of potential cooperation that masked deeper, more complex intentions. What neither side realized was that this diplomatic encounter was merely the opening move in a much larger, more dangerous game, a confrontation that would test the limits of human resilience and Zoran strategic calculations. The first seeds of conflict were being planted, hidden beneath layers of diplomatic protocol and carefully constructed conversations. Betrayal's bitter revelation. The first indication of trouble came as a subtle energy fluctuation, barely perceptible, but unmistakable to trained eyes. Ambassador Raj Khanna was reviewing communication logs when Commander Elena Rodriguez burst into his private quarters, her face a mask of controlled urgency. "Sir, we've detected anomalous transmissions," she reported, projecting a holographic overlay of the station's communication grid. Intricate lines of data pulsed with warning markers, encrypted channels, hidden communication bursts that didn't match any standard Zoran diplomatic protocols. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez joined them, his neural interface working overtime to decode the complex signal patterns. "These aren't routine communications," he muttered, fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. "They're coordinating something. Something big." Raj's instincts, honed by years of diplomatic missions, kicked into high gear. "Prep emergency evacuation protocols," he commanded, his voice steady but urgent. "And send an encrypted priority message to Earth Command. Something's wrong." Before the words had fully left his mouth, the station shuddered. Not an explosion, something more precise, more calculated. Alarms blared. Not the typical station emergency signals, but a more sinister, coordinated shutdown of critical systems. Life support began to fluctuate. Communication arrays went dark. "We're being isolated," Elena said, her hand instinctively moving to her concealed defensive weapon. "This is a planned assault." The diplomatic team's quarters transformed from a negotiation hub to a potential combat zone. Marcus worked frantically, attempting to maintain communication links while Elena secured their position. Suddenly, the chamber's adaptive walls began to change. What was once a neutral diplomatic space morphed into something more threatening, containment protocols activating, escape routes systematically sealing. Krelvax appeared, but not as the diplomatic figure from earlier. Now, their form seemed more militaristic, skin shifting to a deep crimson that Marcus's translation matrix identified as pure combat readiness. "Humanity's expansion ends here," the Zoran diplomat, now clearly revealed as a military operative, declared. "Your presence in this sector is no longer tolerated." Raj understood immediately. This wasn't a diplomatic misunderstanding. It was a calculated trap. "Why?" he demanded, buying time as Elena subtly activated emergency beacon protocols. Krelvax's response was chillingly bureaucratic. "Resource management. Your species represents an unpredictable variable in our strategic alignment. Elimination is the most efficient solution." The station's internal defenses began to activate. Energy weapons charged, precision targeting systems locked onto the human delegation. Marcus discovered something critical in the final moments. Hidden data streams revealed a larger plan. The humans weren't just targets. They were a test case. If successful, similar protocols would be implemented against other emerging spacefaring civilizations. "Elena, priority transmission," Marcus shouted, uploading critical intelligence. "Zoran aren't just planning to eliminate us. They're systematically neutralizing potential competitive species." Commander Rodriguez understood immediately. This was more than an attack. It was a galactic-scale extinction strategy. As containment fields began to close, Raj made a final diplomatic gesture, not of surrender, but of documentation. He activated his personal recording implant, ensuring every moment of this betrayal would be captured and transmitted. The humans might be trapped, but they would not be silenced. In the cold expanse of the orbital station, a battle of survival began, humans against a calculated, ruthless alien strategy that had been centuries in the making. The betrayal was complete. The true test of human resilience was about to begin. Humanity's technological crucible. The moment of betrayal triggered a cascade of protocols buried deep within humanity's contingency plans. What the Zoran hadn't anticipated was the depth of human preparedness, a testament to a species that had learned from centuries of conflict and survival. Back on Earth, the emergency transmission from Raj Khanna's team activated a dormant response network. Military strategists, intelligence analysts, and technological innovators converged in a secure command center beneath the United Global Defense Complex. Admiral Victoria Nakamura, head of Earth's Extraterrestrial Defense Initiative, studied the incoming data with laser-focused precision. "They've made a critical mistake," she muttered, her fingers already initiating a multi-layered response protocol. The transmission wasn't just a distress signal. It was a comprehensive data package, every scrap of intelligence about Zoran technology, communication protocols, and strategic vulnerabilities that Marcus Rodriguez had managed to collect during the diplomatic mission. "Activate Project Prometheus," Nakamura commanded. Deep within secure research facilities, a series of advanced technological systems roared to life. These weren't conventional weapons, they were humanity's most advanced adaptive response technologies, developed through decades of anticipatory research. Quantum entanglement communication systems bypassed traditional communication channels. Adaptive AI algorithms began dissecting the Zoran attack protocols, learning and developing countermeasures in real time. On the orbital station, the human delegation wasn't waiting passively. Commander Elena Rodriguez had activated her team's last resort survival protocols. Nano-adaptive defensive systems woven into their diplomatic suits began to transform, molecular structures rearranging to provide enhanced protection and limited defensive capabilities. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez worked frantically, his neural interface connecting with the emergency transmission systems. "We're not just sending a distress signal," he explained to Raj. "We're creating a comprehensive intelligence map of their attack strategy." Raj understood. Every moment of their captivity was becoming a tactical advantage for humanity. The Zoran believed they were conducting a precise, calculated elimination. They didn't realize they were teaching humanity about their most sophisticated attack methodologies. Back on Earth, Project Prometheus moved into its next phase. Advanced quantum computers began simulating millions of potential response scenarios. Adaptive weapon systems that could reconfigure themselves based on enemy technology were powered up. "We're not just defending," Admiral Nakamura told her team. "We're developing a comprehensive response that will make any potential aggressor think twice about targeting humanity." On the orbital station, the first signs of human technological adaptation became apparent. The Zoran's containment systems, designed to be impenetrable, began to show unexpected vulnerabilities. Micro-adaptive technologies in the human's equipment started to interface with and gradually overcome the alien containment protocols. Marcus's continuous data transmission was doing more than just sending a distress signal. It was a living, evolving intelligence probe, learning and adapting with each moment of interaction. "They think they're hunting us," Elena whispered, her tactical systems gradually recalibrating to overcome Zoran security measures. "But we're gathering more intelligence with every second of their attack." Raj maintained his diplomatic composure, understanding that every interaction was now a potential source of strategic advantage. The Zorans' belief in their technological superiority was about to be challenged in ways they couldn't anticipate. Humanity had always been a species of survivors, of innovators. Every challenge was an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to overcome. The technological crucible was heating up. And humanity was about to show the Zoran exactly what they were made of. Reckoning and recalibration. The quantum resonance of human technological adaptation reached a critical threshold precisely 47 minutes into the Zoran containment attempt. What began as a calculated elimination strategy was rapidly transforming into the Zoran's worst strategic miscalculation. Admiral Victoria Nakamura watched the real-time tactical display, her augmented neural interface processing millions of data streams per second. "Initiate quantum entanglement protocol," she commanded, her voice calm despite the magnitude of the moment. On the orbital station, the first signs of human technological superiority became unmistakable. The adaptive nanosystems developed by Earth's most advanced research teams began to systematically deconstruct the Zoran's supposedly impenetrable containment systems. Commander Elena Rodriguez felt the molecular restructuring of her tactical suit, a living, thinking defense mechanism that was learning and adapting faster than the Zoran could comprehend. "Marcus," she called to the team's linguistic and technological expert, "are you seeing this?" Dr. Marcus Rodriguez's neural interface was a blur of activity. "They designed their systems with a fundamental flaw," he muttered, fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. "They assumed technological rigidity. We've built adaptability into our core systems." Ambassador Raj Khanna observed the unfolding scenario with a diplomat's calculated patience. This was no longer just a mission of first contact, it was a definitive moment in human interstellar relations. The Zoran leadership watched in mounting horror as their sophisticated containment systems began to fail. What had seemed like a precise, calculated elimination was rapidly becoming a catastrophic strategic error. "Impossible," Krelvax, the lead diplomatic operative, muttered. Their iridescent skin flickered with patterns of confusion and growing fear, emotions that translated across species as a universal language of impending defeat. Earth's response was multifaceted. Project Prometheus wasn't just a defensive protocol, it was a comprehensive technological ecosystem designed to learn, adapt, and overcome. Advanced quantum computers were simultaneously analyzing the Zoran attack methodology, developing counter-strategies, and preparing comprehensive diplomatic and military responses. "We're not just defending," Admiral Nakamura explained to her command team. "We're demonstrating the fundamental principle of human survival: adaptation is our greatest strength." On the orbital station, the containment field began to destabilize. Not through brute force, but through a sophisticated molecular recalibration that the Zoran's technology simply couldn't comprehend. It was as if the human technology was speaking a language of survival that the Zoran couldn't translate. Marcus discovered something even more critical. The Zoran's attack wasn't just about the human delegation. It was part of a larger strategy of preemptive species elimination, a systematic approach to neutralizing potential competitive civilizations before they could fully develop interstellar capabilities. "They've done this before," he realized, transmitting the intelligence back to Earth. "We're not their first target. But we will be their last." The human team's survival became a statement, a declaration that humanity would not be catalogued, controlled, or eliminated. As the containment systems failed, Raj Khanna made a critical decision. This would not be a moment of vengeful retaliation, but a demonstration of strategic superiority coupled with diplomatic restraint. "Prepare communication protocols," he instructed Elena and Marcus. "We're going to show them who we are." The Zoran leadership watched in disbelief as the human delegation not only survived but began to systematically disable their most advanced technological systems. It wasn't an aggressive assault, it was a precise, calculated dismantling that demonstrated a level of technological and strategic sophistication the Zoran had not believed possible. Admiral Nakamura's final directive came through with crystal clarity: demonstrate superiority. Minimize casualties. Send a message. Precision quantum disruption fields began to neutralize the Zoran station's critical systems. Not to destroy, but to demonstrate absolute technological control. Every system the humans touched was gently, methodically brought under their influence. Krelvax understood the message immediately. This was not an act of revenge. This was a comprehensive demonstration of humanity's potential, a warning wrapped in a display of technological mastery. "You could have destroyed us," the Zoran leader said, their communication now tinged with a mixture of respect and barely contained fear. Raj's response was measured. "We're not here to destroy. We're here to coexist. But we will defend ourselves, comprehensively and without hesitation." The orbital station, once a site of potential annihilation, became a testament to human resilience. Not through violence, but through an overwhelming display of adaptive intelligence. As the final systems came under human control, a new chapter in interstellar relations began. The Zoran had attempted to eliminate a potential threat. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant, a species that would not be catalogued, controlled, or conquered. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage. And they were here to stay. The message was clear: attempt to eliminate us, and we will not just survive, we will thrive.